You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building, Omar Dorsey.
Yes,
Omar,
what's happening? What's happening?
how's everything, brother?
Man, everything's good, man. Glad to be up here in New York City.
How would we introduce you? As one of the stars of Queen Sugar?
Yeah, that sounds
Ray
good to me.
Donovan?
Yeah, either one.
Okay.
Eastbound and Down,
That
whatever you
means
want
he
to
working.
say.
He got
Yeah.
a couple of
Eastbound and
jobs.
Down used to be one of my favorite shows.
Right. Man, I
see
loved on that show.
What happened to that show?
Yo, man, Danny McBride is just a genius. He's like, okay, 4 seasons is enough, trying to keep it moving. So he ended up doing that show, Vice Principals, right after that. And then actually, he wrote the new Halloween movie. Well, I'm on the stars of that one, too.
Dope.
Yeah, man. So, that man just keeps it moving.
Kenny
Oh, you play a
Powers.
sheriff in the new Halloween
I
movie,
do,
right?
man. Yeah, the black sheriff of a white town.
Are you
man.
going to get killed early?
definitely gonna get
You
killed.
know,
That
hold
still
on.
happen in
Horror movies are my favorite.
I can't say
I
nothing.
cannot wait to see it.
Oh, it's good, too, man. I can't say nothing, man. But,
That means they're not going to break tradition. You'll be dead in the
We'll
first
see.
10 minutes.
No.
We'll
You
see.
never know.
We'll see. I ain't saying nothing. That's not a non-disclosure.
Are you scared doing Halloween movies? Like, I don't do Halloween scary movies. I just don't do it.
Yo, what's crazy is like when we were shooting it, the first day I'm there, people just laying there with blood everywhere, and I'm like, oh man, this is a little gory. Next thing you know, they up smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee 5 minutes later. So it's a movie magic, but it's all good.
So you and Danny got a good relationship then?
Man, we got a great relationship, man. It's crazy because he just moved back to South
Carolina?
Yeah, he lives in Charleston.
Yeah.
So, but he used to live right down the street from me in L.A., and so I used to go to his house, watch, the TV show Vice Principals with him every Sunday night. But when he moved, man, I was like, dang, man, my homeboy gone, man. But, I was just glad that he called me back up to come back and do the work with him again. Him and David Gordon Green, the director.
Did y'all shoot that in South Carolina?
Yeah, we shot that in Charleston, man.
Wow.
We shot it in Charleston, bro, for a month and a half, man. And,
Wow.
it was like, it was during the wintertime, but it was dope, man. I was like, it's a great city, great food, great people, man.
Oh, that's home.
So
That's home.
yeah, man.
So what's the importance of your role on Queen Sugar and just the way it represents black men?
He's a great man.
Man, like it's something that we really need to see.
Well,
Yes.
explain what Queen Sugar is. A lot of people have not seen Queen Sugar.
So Queen Sugar is a show about a family who inherits a sugar farm from their father. Father passes away. And it's just the ups and downs of running a sugar farm, ups and downs of a family period.
Yes.
So I play the boyfriend, the fiance of the matriarch of the family.
The younger
the
fiance.
younger fiance, 20 years younger, but that goes away after the second episode. You don't even think about it. But like you said, like it represents just manhood, like something that we really don't see on television. Like, we talk about Ray Donovan. We see that a lot. We see the gangster dude. I play Cookie Brown on Ray Donovan. We see that a lot. But just to see just a straight up blue collar, dude who loves his woman, we don't see that a whole lot on television, especially in this package. So I think that's very important because we all know it. It's where we all come from, and the fact that Ava, gave me that responsibility to represent that, man, that was just extremely important.
On the show, your character had an interesting discussion. This is something I was talking about recently.
Right.
About taking a man's last name.
Right.
Right. And for a woman to not want to have to do that. What's your thoughts on if you marry a woman and she decides she wants to keep her last name?
The funny thing about it, when we were shooting that scene, I call myself, I said, I'm a reformed Neanderthal. So, I think about 3 or 4 years ago, I would have been offended if somebody didn't take my last name. But, especially after working with Ava for 4 years and, working with Oprah for 4 years, it's like people are their own. If they want to keep their last name, like, so be it. That's a discussion that you have to have. But I think at this moment that I am right now in life, it is what it is.
First of all, who wouldn't take the last name Duvernay or the last name Winfrey?
Hey, dig. You know what I'm saying, man? I'm right there. Dun, 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 dun. You walking down?
But it was interesting to me because I always thought as a woman you should be able to keep your last name if you so choose. But then when I was watching the episode, I kind of saw where he was coming from also.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, man, they write so well for that character that, like, he finesses everything,
Yeah,
like,
he
no matter
did.
what.
I was like, oh, well.
And it's the way that it was written. And I was like, yo, that makes sense the way he's saying it. But then on the flip side, he talked to his mother about it the next morning, and his mom was like,
Yes.
man, this woman's been who she has been for the last 60 years. Why she don't need to take your last name?
Why not hyphenated? My wife's name is hyphenated.
And that was a point that we raised in the show.
Right.
Like, yo, you can have the hyphenated. She's like, no, my name is my name, and I want to keep it.
You
The
know,
only
I
thing with
feel
that
that
with kids, though, like, because kind of confuses your kids. What were your kids like? I like mommy's last name. I like that. Like, how does your kids decide?
They could be
what
hyphenated.
not really, because
they could be
your kid-
hyphenated also.
Your kids, if you give your kids your last name, that's their name. They don't know anything else.
Right.
Like your wife had a last name forever.
But if mommy is Mrs. So-and-so and daddy's Mr. So-and-so and they're two separate last names.
Hey,
Nobody
man,
says both names.
it's a bunch of people who got mom and dad with different last names.
Yeah.
They call baby mamas and baby daddies. They might not be married, so that's nothing new under the sun.
But it's crazy because men never have to think about, I have to change my last name. It's
That's
only
not
something
true.
I think
that
Zoe
women
Saldana's
traditionally-
husband changed his last name, didn't he?
I don't know.
I think he did.
Who did?
Yeah, Zoe Saldana.
Okay.
I think her husband. I don't know, man. I'm talking smack. I might,
Look yourself up, right?
I might have the
You
internet
doing
going
something for
nuts.
Ball Alert.
Exactly.
Ball Alert. Omar Dorsey said that
You
Zoe
did.
Saldana's husband has her last name. I like what you said about being in the Neanderthal
Yeah.
4 years ago, because they will not let us grow and evolve.
Yo, man, but we have to.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have to, and cause circumstances change. That's anything in life. Man, we grow up. I grew up in Atlanta, Decatur, Georgia, man. Honestly, I ain't never grew up around no white folks. You know what I'm saying? So like when you go off to somewhere else, and then your whole your world evolves, man. I listen to Beatles music, or whatever it is.
Right.
Like, what's this? I'm used to Kilo and Outkast. You know what I'm saying? So, but like when everything changes, and like I said, when you sit and you work with some of the most powerful women in the world, man, like that changes. And that's a good thing about Ava too.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the way that she's transformed culture, where she's transformed the industry. Like, man, I've been working in television and film for 20 years almost. I've had one female director outside of Ava in 20 years. On our show, it's all female directors. And so, that even because she made it a point that
She's intentional about
she's
it.
intentional about it. And then we'll see the fruits of that over the next 100 years.
Right.
Like, women can actually run shows. Women can actually direct shows.
And write them.
They got Lena out here. You got, all these great women out here.
Yeah.
Nick Mahoney and Tina Mabry. There's some really dope people out here right now.
And then Ava will straight up be like, didn't she say for this show, don't bring me a bunch of white men now for these roles?
Straight up, man. Straight up, man. But that's what it is, though. When you go to the set, it's a set of inclusion. We got everybody in there. Man. We got white people, white folks.
Yeah,
and
you guys got
whatever it is.
interracial dating
Interracial
happening
dating.
now.
Yeah, exactly. And it is not the white and black. You got Kofi out here with the Vietnamese woman. You know what I'm saying? So
And
we
his
just
son.
and his
That
son.
whole storyline.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's all.
Kofi better not date a Vietnamese woman in real
I
life.
know in real
though.
life.
They will kill
boy,
Kofi. You
they
think Michael
will
B. Jordan get it?
They will excoriate my baby brother. Nah.
Did you learn a lot about women from doing this show?
I learned, I have. You know what? And it made me a better writer. Because I write television. I write movies, and I read a script the other day, and I was like, man, these women characters are just so underdeveloped. And I had to try to go back and try to rewrite some of it. But I learned a lot because women are way more complex than men anyway. We think about food, sex, sports. You know what I'm saying? But women really go deep into their thoughts. So yeah, I've learned a whole lot, man. Like doing this show, I ain't gonna even front.
How has the role helped you as being a father and just being a man?
It's so funny, but I come home, my daughters be like, "You ain't Hollywood. You ain't changing no light bulbs and all that stuff." I got them boys to come over here and cut the grass, man. No, but you want to be better. That's a really hard character to try to live up to.
Right.
You
can't be out here doing nothing wrong in the tabloids because they'll be like, come on.
Yeah, straight up. Or just even just as attentive as that man is. I'm not really that attentive. I am, but I'm out here trying to get the bag. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all over it wherever I can go. But yeah, man.
You married?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did that inspire you to be a better husband, like as far as seeing how attentive he is?
Huh?
Did it inspire you to
I mean,
change
man,
some light
ain't
bulbs?
nobody do that.
Huh?
Ain't nobody do that. Yeah, you try your best. So you try your best. But it's just looking at it's funny because I might mess around and say something. I might say something that's one of the lines, and I'm not realizing I'm saying one of the lines. I'm like, oh, she gonna hear. I said this like in 3 weeks. She gonna hear them same lines come on the TV. So, you know what I'm saying?
Now, you and your wife argue about you not listening a lot? That you don't really listen to? Because that's what I just heard from what you said. That you like, she feel I'm not attentive. I'd be moving to get the bag.
I mean, that's anybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the biggest arguments, I think, in most relationships. It's like you don't listen. But, I just told you that 2 weeks ago. Oh, man, my bad, Shawty. I forgot all about that. It's that type of thing.
How does your role as Hollywood differ from Cookie?
Oh, man, Cookie was a homicidal maniac. You know what I'm saying? And he had no feelings. It was a fun character to play, but that's not really what you what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't want to play that for the rest of my life. That character on Ray Donovan, man, that dude was hell on wheels, you know, and he had no remorse. But we know, I mean, there are people like that who exist. And my whole job as an actor is to try to reflect life. And so it might be something that's hyper reality as that is, but there are people in the world who like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I try my best to do it and not to play the stereotypical gangster. I try to play it with a little bit of panache, with a little bit of comedy. But that's even scarier. Mm-hmm. You see somebody who would kill a kid and 2 seconds later laughing, cracking jokes. You know what I'm saying? That's just something that's really just thrown off. Yeah, exactly. He's a maniac. And what was really wild about that was I was doing Ray Donovan and Selma at the same time. Ooh. So I'm playing a homicidal maniac during the weekends. I got to fly back to Atlanta to go play a civil rights leader. You know what I'm saying? So that was a fun time in my life because I was really felt like I was doing summer stock theater, two different characters at the same time. But yeah, man, it's just totally different than the Cookie Brown.
Do you get typecasted? Like as the big black man in Hollywood?
I used to.
Yeah.
And I after Ray Donovan, man, I'm not even front. I had to step back and I didn't work for 8 months because it's all they were trying to give me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, big black man, gangster, this, that, and the other. And I was like, yo, I can't do that because there's no longevity in that, you know. And so I stepped back and I went and did a couple of independent films here and there. And then when I was doing an independent film in the Bahamas, when Ava calls me and asked me to come do Queen Sugar.
Wow.
So yeah, man. So all things work good.
Now, as a seasoned actor, what do you think about this whole Roseanne situation as far as them taking her off the show and then continuing to do the reboot, but a spinoff from her, and she's not involved because of what she said on Twitter?
I mean, that is an extremely talented group of actors that she had on that show. I mean, those are some of the best. I mean, John Goodman is one of the greatest actors of all time. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think it's a blessing that those people and the crew get to keep their jobs. You know, no matter what she said, man, that woman, you know, she jumped out on that limb, and now she got to live with that. You know what I'm saying? And the apologies, whatever. I ain't even know she was black or whatever. Man, I mean, she jumped out on the limb, and I think she knew what she was saying. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how many Ambien or whatever she was taking. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it was, she understood she probably didn't understand the repercussions. Mm-hmm. But I'm just glad that crew and then that cast continue to be able to make money,
they're not
be able
being
to work.
punished.
They're not being
of her.
punished because of one person. Yeah.
What got you into acting?
And my mother was a theater director. You know, so since I was 2 years old, I used to always go and watch. And oh man, she's so awesome. She's this. She's and all the people on stage. I wanted to go do all of that stuff. And I just kept going with it, man. Just kept going with it from. My mother was putting me in plays, went to performing art high school, studied in college, studied grad. My first movie I did, I was still in college. It was Road Trip. Second movie, I was still in college. It was Drumline. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something it's always something I always wanted to do. I never wanted to do anything else. I never wanted to be working in no office. I never wanted to have no boss.
Right.
I always wanted to do something collaborative, and that's, it's just a blessing.
A lot of people don't like to do plays, though. Tell them the importance of plays. A lot of people feel like they don't want to do plays. They just want to do straight into movies or straight into TV roles or straight into independent films.
Man, my whole thing is you learn from that stage. I try my best to stay on that stage as much as I can whenever time permits. I just did a play at the Geffen last year, won awards for that. I have to be on that stage. I have to. It's just a breath of life to me. It's something about that instant gratification, that instant laugh, that instant shock or whatever. And every day, every time you do that play, it's a whole different breathing organism. It's a different reaction you might get that from Friday night, and you might get Saturday afternoon matinee. And and you have to be able to deal with it. Whatever the audience is giving you,
right? You
have to be able to deal with it. I think that's the most important part. I think that's the most important medium.
And it keeps you sharp because you only got one chance when you're on that stage.
You only got one chance.
No retake.
And you have to listen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about listening. Mm-hmm. On stage, you got to listen. Yeah. It's no editor. There's no, like I said, there's no retakes. Mm-hmm. So, man, I try my best to stay on stage at least once a year.
Did you see Orlando Bloom yelling at someone in the audience because they had an iPad out?
Oh,
in the middle of the play, he stopped the play.
He stopped the play in the middle of the play?
And was like, okay, put the iPad away now. But they said he was still in character, kind of, but he really did want this
that
woman
must have been
to put
written
her
into the
iPad
script.
away.
Oh, I ain't see that.
No, she really had her iPad out. But I guess her iPad had a fan on it, which I didn't know you could do. So she was using it because it was hot. Because I guess in the theater they were trying to recreate the experience
Oh, really?
of wherever it was supposed to be someplace, warm,
supposed to be
no air
warm.
conditioning.
Oh man, that sounds miserable.
It sounds like hell.
I know. I don't know if I want to do
Because
that.
that has to be distracting, right? If you're acting and you're doing theater and people have like their phones out and are doing stuff, like you can see it light up.
If you can see it, I mean, it is. You try your best to stay in the moment and to be one with the, with your fellow actors. But on the peripheral, you can see what people are doing down there. They got phones, or you try not to let it bother you. But if somebody got an iPad out with a fan, man, I might feel some kind of way about that. So
Is it important to have mentorship?
it's 100% important. It's 100%. I try my best to mentor as many young actors as I can. We talk about Kofi, talk about Lakeith Stanfield, man. I call those cats, make sure that they're doing good, make sure that everything is great, man. Because this is what Sam Jackson did for me. That's what Wendell Pierce, what Niecy Nash did for me. So you got to pay it forward at all times. Yeah.
You've been in what, three Oscar-nominated movies?
3 Oscar-nominated movies.
What, the
Blindside, Django, and Selma.
Or
All 3 of them nominated for Best Picture. All 3 of them won Oscars too. So it's just being able to go to the Oscars is just something that that you think about when you first starting out in the industry, or you watch it when you were a kid, and you're like, man, this is what I want to do one day.
Does that make the resume stronger?
It makes it extremely strong, man. I mean, when you leading off with a star of 3 Oscar-winning films, it says something about it, and the prestige of it. You dig what I'm saying? It's like the prestige when you walking into an office and they see, even for the first one, Blindside, nobody knew Blindside was going to be nominated for anything. I mean, when I was doing it, I said Sandra Bullock's going to win the Oscar. Everybody was like, really? You think so? I said, man, she out here murdering this thing right now. So when you walk in with it, especially when it's fresh, because when I got Django, I think Blindside may have just came out the year before. And then when I got Selma, Django had just came out the year before. So you keep them like that. And, Queen Sugar gets nominated, not for the Emmys, but it gets nominated for everything else. So much, this is something about being those prestige projects.
Why you think it don't get nominated for Emmys? Because it's a black show?
I don't know about that. I don't know. Emmy voters, I'm an Emmy voter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we get enough eyes on the show, man. I don't know. Because the writing is impeccable.
Let me tell you something. When my voice was on Queen Sugar just on the radio, my timeline lit up.
Yeah,
Junkie
man.
of the
yes.
day.
So people watching that shit.
But what I'm saying is the Emmy voters aren't, though.
Oh, got you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm an Emmy voter, and there's a lot of industry people who are Emmy voters, and they're part of the Academy. And, man, if they ain't watching it, then you just like, you SOL, man. You stuck. You dig?
You see with the Grammys, they're trying to get more people, to be more inclusive. Are they doing that with the Emmys, too, as far as the voters, trying to get more people, more diverse?
You know what? I don't even know. I know they did it with the Motion Picture Academy also. I mean, I would hope so. I do know quite a few Emmy voters. I know a lot of black ones, but that Academy is so large, you just don't know, man. And then people will always go back to, well, I watch this show, or everybody watches this show, and that's why I say I can't say it's a black or white thing. I can't say it's a black thing because Atlanta gets all the love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Donald and those cats, man, they getting all the love. Issa got nominated for Best Actress this year. Blackish gets nominated every year. So I just don't know. We just need to have more eyes on the show, because anybody who watches the show, they fall in love with it.
You ever roll up on a girl and be like, look, I was in 3 movies that were nominated for
He's
Oscars.
married.
I ain't doing
dang,
all
my
that.
bad. I forgot you married.
Slow down.
2 girls?
Yeah, 2 daughters, man.
Oh, you was a hoe in the past life
Oh,
like me.
man.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
No, I ain't the end of it.
Listen, there's no man more reformed than a man that got all daughters.
I know, man.
I got 2 and 1 on the way.
I got 2 and 1 I'm at Howard University right now, man. Just pray to God she's using discretion, you know what I'm saying? Just pray to God. Now, she's a good kid, too. She's studying acting, too, man.
Keep telling yourself that.
Hey, man.
She's still a woman.
I know, 100%, man.
So do you still have
100%.
to audition for things?
Not as much, because I got so many friends. I mean, I might have to jump in if it's a really, really big movie. I have to jump in and audition for it. But, last few things I've done, like I said, Halloween,
They just call you
Danny
up.
just called me. Ava called me for Queen Sugar. It's funny because when I audition for stuff, I don't get it. Like, dang, man, that's a waste of time.
You're like, I can do it.
Yeah, man. But like I said, most of the stuff that I do now, people just call me up.
You remember your first audition ever?
Yeah, I do. My first movie audition, I remember it.
What movie was it?
Remember the Titans?
Okay.
Yeah, remember the Titans?
I didn't see you in that one.
Yeah, I didn't see you in that one either.
Because I wasn't in it.
It didn't go well.
It didn't go well. It went real good, but I think it's the same character that Wood Harris played. And I was living in Atlanta. I was in college. I was like, man, I'm about to be. I ain't know. I had 3 auditions. I'm about to do this movie. Next thing I know, saw the man from Paid in Full was in the room. Like,
I ain't gonna get that.
I ain't getting that role, man. But my second audition was Road Trip, though. I tell you that, and I was in that.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, I remember that. That's my first movie audition, man. That was it was a thing too.
I think I in my head, right, the importance of auditioning is also, even if you don't get it, the casting directors will maybe see you in something else.
They'll see you and they'll think about you.
Right.
You know, because I mean, like I said, when you've been doing it for so long, I know a whole lot of casting directors. So they always got in mind, they're like, you know what, maybe we should, Omar would be good for this role. And so now they'll just send my tape or send my sizzle reel or something like that. And then that's real good. That's a lot easier. And it's like you just zoom right by that. Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate you for joining us today.
Man, I
man,
appreciate
Omar
it.
Dorsey.
So enough, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
that was
it.
What can they reach out to you, man?
Man, on all forms, Omar J. Dorsey. All social media forms, it's Omar J. Dorsey.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wait, he wanted to plug something else. Did you have something else you want? It looked like you took a breath to
Oh,
say
no, I
something.
didn't. Nah.
You said,
Yo, go watch Halloween on October 19th. I'll tell you that.
You should just shout out Ava and Oprah just because.
Hey, man, I love this. My sisters. Ava, man, I'm going to probably see her in about another couple of hours, man. That's my
Oh, yeah,
folks,
she in
man.
town doing
Central Park 5. Yeah,
yeah.
but I got to go to the production office, go holler at her, man. Yo, I just love them, man. They changed my life.
You trying to sneak up in there? CP5?
No, I'm working with her on that, man.
Okay.
I'm shadow directing with her. So,
that's dope.
Dope.
Yeah, so, she, that's the next movement.
Tell her I said what's up.
Directing.
I definitely will.
That's
Definitely
right.
will, sure enough. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Breakfast Club. Good morning.